Alright, what is poppin', people? Now, look, I'll keep it a buck. I've been kind of just laddering lately on my own time because it's not that I don't want to do full lives. I'm going to do more lives in the future. But a lot of the time, I do like to just passively ladder and test out, random teams, random sets that I do think have some potential, or just, because I want to test out a team to later do an actual live with. Haha, sneak peek of a team that I do want to ladder with later. But it's a little bit easier on me if I'm not. I'll be honest, man. I play a lot better when I'm not having to commentate over my battles as well. I think most people that do play competitively would tell you that it's a lot easier when you can just focus in on what you're doing. And that's kind of how it is for me too. So, because I still wanted to get out some sort of content where I'm the one playing, not just someone else. I've, been saving replays. I got a good amount that I want to go through here. These aren't, super incredible games, but I just think that it was kind of fun to see certain Pokemon, certain sets put in work. And I actually got 2 games against Uberfiend. This dude apparently got number 2 on the ladder at some point with that team. And while I think it's certainly a matchup fish team from hell, it's still got some, dangerous Pokemon. He's Meteor Beam Archeops. This is something Joey and I ran into when we were playing PU a while back with the Grassy Terrain team. He's Throat Spray, Water Shuriken, a Selgor with Unburden. He's Nature Power, Life Orb, Prankster, Whimsy. And for those that don't know, Nature Power does get the priority boost from Prankster. So, that makes it more annoying on my Talonflame this game to try to pick off the Whimsy. And it's Specs Exploud. I don't remember the item on Hitmontop, but it is Rapid Spin Technician with Axel. And then it's Mold Breaker, Rock Strudagon. I think it's defensive. The thing we noted from preview, right, is my Diancie is led with, and it's claiming a KO. Always. Nothing on his team can OHKO it. And so, as you're going to see here, I'm Specs Diancie. He's going to lead Strudagon. And what he's probably thinking here is, okay, if he's bulky, usually when you see Bronzong and then another Pokemon that runs Stealth Rock, most people are going to assume that it's Iron Defense Bronzong. The general idea is, other rockers, primarily Diancie and Mudsdale, free Bronzong up to run that set. Yeah, no, we're Rocks Bronzong, Specs Diancie here, so he's probably thinking, okay, at worst we trade Rocks. Maybe he chunks a Moonblast. No, I'm faster and I OHKO you. Bye-bye! And I think here, too, he was thinking, okay, maybe he's offensive Rocks. So he goes out to Archeops, thinking, alright, I'll Meteor Beam this. And, I'll live the hit. No, bye-bye! So I lead off with Specs Diancie and just claim 2 kills off rip. I don't know. From using it in these games, Specs Diancie has felt pretty decent. I think the main issue for it is the steel types of the tier lacking the most overlap you'd want for them. You're thinking Copperajah, Escavalier, and then Bronzong, which obviously could have Heat Proof or Levitate. Now, if you're dealing Levitate Bronzong, yes, Mystical Fire is gonna beat down most of the steals, although I do think it actually fails to KO AV Raja, which is really sad. But because so many Bronzong are Heat Proof, it can be kind of annoying. And that's why I haven't loved Diancie sets that don't have both coverage moves for steals. I think in general you're still fine so long as you've got Mystical Fire, again, that has the most coverage across steel types as a whole. And you still do... You still do get some damage off on Bronzong, and that isn't a mon that's very hard to switch into, right? Especially with how dominant Xatu is. So it's not like we're looking at a Pokemon that's just gonna stonewall you. It's just kind of annoying. Anyhow, we get back into this. Since I know his set, because I've played him so many times, I'm gonna go T-Flame here. Just because I want to get Bronzong in with as much health as possible, so we're gonna double into it here. And the Water Shuriken won't do too much. Now, unfortunately, my opponent... Fortunately, but also unfortunately, right? My opponent is going to go for Focus Blast here. I don't know why he did, but I do actually take less from that than Bug Buzz. Unfortunately, though, he gets the special defense drop, so while I can protect out of range from another unboosted hit from this guy, it's gonna end up me having to sack Diancie here, which obviously I would have preferred sacking it to like Explode, just so I could then bring in my Passimian. But this isn't a big issue. Again, we can protect out of range of the Bug Buzz here, and then revenge kill with a heavy slam. Bronzong being so low is obviously pretty detrimental, though, looking at my Whimsicott and Explode matchup from here. Passimian always revenge kills Explode, so it's not a huge deal, but it is a little bit annoying for Whimsicott at the very least. We do end up deciding to sack Guzzlord instead, because I do value Bronzong being able to deal with Whimsicott. And Guzzlord doesn't really do anything from here anyway. And then this is like the freest CC of my life. I actually do end up going Talonflame here. Now, I honestly don't know why it did. I think it may have been that I was... No, I know I did this. It's because I knew Bronzong was going to get 2-hit KO'd if I went to it. And I figured T-Flame avoids a 2-hit KO, which it does. Unfortunately, my opponent gets a crit with Nature Power here, which definitely sucks. I would have been able to maybe Roost Up or just Brave Bird this into the Shadow Realm. And then he also gets the special attack drop there. Fortunately, I land my Heat Wave, so it doesn't matter. And he brings out this Hitmontop. And this is a little bit annoying. Now, my opponent goes for Rapid Spin here. I'm very fortunate they did not spin again. That could have maybe been bad, although I think Passimian still deals with this anyway, so it probably wasn't the biggest deal. But, yeah, I think I was fine no matter what for me, because I believe on this Xatu, I'm Psychic, Heat Wave, Roost, Teleport. Psychic definitely would have done at least 34. So, if he spins again, it's not like the end of the day. Well, Psychic would have done enough to kill it, despite the special attack drops would have been. Regardless, Passimian, I think, takes the... There's no I think. Passimian takes the CC from this no matter what. And so, I can always revenge kill it with the God Passer. And then, of course, yeah, Explode, that's food. But yeah, I really like this game. I really enjoy this team. It's not got the best matchup into water types. I was playing a test game with Kushalos lately. Or not lately. Recently. And I'm not going to say anything about the team because, you know, he's playing an SCL. He might be bringing that team eventually. But, long story short, I bitched out with my Diancie against a water type. And, yeah, it kind of cost me the game from there. The note from this game, and I think in general though, is I do think Specs Diancie is cool for several reasons. Surprise Factor is obviously one of them, right? Generally, you know, it's not the set you're going to see from it. It's usually just going to be some boring Stealth Rock set. And I don't, you know, I feel people should be willing to explore a little bit more with Diancie sets. Because it's not like we're strapped for Stealth Rock setters in the tier. Again, you could pair it with either of the steel types very easily. Mudsdale is a fine enough partner, although cover your ass against water types, obviously, if you go that route. And even something like Druddigon is a fine enough partner. So, I think it'd be cool to see some Diancie going forward. That isn't just the boring, you know, Rock, Seal Bell, Diamond Storm, Body Press, or whatever. Anyhow. These next few games are going to be with Spike's offense. Now, I'm not going to claim this team as my own. Not because I know I stole it from SCL, but because I feel like I saw these 6 brought to an SCL game. And while it wasn't me trying to, you know, I would say cognizantly take it, that's not the right word. While it wasn't me trying to, like, steal it knowing exactly what I was, you know, knowing where I was getting it from. I do think that this might have been used before, so anyhow, you know, take from that as you will. I still like these 6 together, and I wanted to use them anyway, man. Come on. So to give a little bit of backstory here, Froslass has been getting a decent enough amount of usage in SCL, just with these Spikes offense builds. You know, you lead last, you try to get your Spikes up, and because NU has a lot of options for sweepers, you can find some pretty good offensive synergy throughout your last 5. And then do something together. So this is like this is SD Acro Talon, so Xatu obviously mandated there. SD Ground Valley, I think together these two do a pretty good job of making sure water types are broken down for one or the other. Then we got Cosmic Power, Stored Power Xatu, which you are going to see claim a life in at least one of these next couple replays. Nasty Plot, Toxicroak. I needed a Croak here, I felt, because water types otherwise run a train on this team. And they kind of do, even with the Croak, I'll be honest. Life Orb Starmie, I don't know how I beat with this team. I really don't. I think I lose to it every time, but don't worry about it. And in DD Tyrantrum, I also felt, you know, Plot Croak plus DD Teatrum could be pretty cool to overwhelm the Blade for Tyrantrum. And yeah, look at my opponent's team. Honestly, it was a little... I felt the team was, like, kind of odd because you're running Xatu Zong and in no way of dealing with a Poltergeist Mon. I guess it could be itemless on Xatu. But even still, it's like, you're really scared of ghost types. You know, even something like a Nasty Plot Decidueye sort of eats this team up. You don't need that much chip at all on Knee-Jerk Algae. And Plot Decid can go itemless if it wants to, which obviously makes Passimian less reliable as a means of revenge killing it. And since this team is also just super slow, I felt pretty safe with every one of my sweepers. You know, he's reliant entirely on Scarf Passimian. This would be a team where I would expect it to be Rock Polish Golurk. Like, I think you kind of have to be. Otherwise, or like Rock Polish Diancie or something. Like, one of these two mods needs to run a Rock Polish set, I think. Now, Rock Polish Diancie, obviously not exactly a common set. I don't even know if I'd call it a good set, but it exists to some degree. And I'm just looking at this kind of team. I feel you really need that extra speed. T-Wave Xatu would also be a good means. These are all things that I'm considering. But you'll see it doesn't end up mattering at all. So we're going to get the Froslass lead versus Diancie. I'm actually going to taunt it. I don't know which of these two is the rocker between Bronzong and Diancie. But I figure taunting this is fine. And then he's going to immediately Diamond Storm. Now I know he's going to go Xatu next. So we're going to go for Icy Wind. And I'm going to Icy Wind again. Because why not? You know, either kill the Xatu or I get some chip on like Bronzong. Or even his Diancie. And if he goes back to Diancie, then we taunt again. He ends up going Passimian here. And I thought about spiking up. But then I felt, looking at his team, it wasn't like overly helpful. Like, these mons probably aren't living a hit anyway for most of my people when I'm boosted. Maybe that's a choke. I also just kind of didn't want him blocking it and going Xatu though. And I felt getting chip on the Passimian would be good anyway for my Tyrantrum. Just makes it so I can click close combat to revenge kill that when I'm at +1 instead of having to lock an Outrage. He does end up staying in and U-turning, which I think is a pretty good play. And now you're going to watch me just end the game. So, in theory, right, normally how people would consider the game of Pokemon, rock beats flying. That's not the case. So, my Xatu's going to 1v1 this Diancie. Yeah, this is max HP, max speed, by the way, so it's not like I've got the defense from the standard pivot set. No, we're just max HP, still eating up Diamond Storms, getting our weakness policy, Okoga Golurk. Drop a lol in the chat afterwards, because I did find that really funny. Oh my god. Yo, I mean, look at his team though, man. Stored Power Xatu from preview eats. Like, what's Bronzong gonna do? Yes, it quad resists Stored Power, but I will boost up to +6/+6 with the, you know, weakness policy boost as well, and I will beat that Bronzong down. I will beat it down. It does not matter. And if push came to shove, you know what else I could do? I could go out to my Toxicroak once it goes to rest, and I could plot up and beat it down with Shadow Ball. So, who's really winning, you know? Anyhow, to the next game. Now, again, another matchup against the man, the myth, the legend himself, Uber Fiend. Again, like, I'm just kind of looking at his team, trying to figure out what my best means of winning is. Looking at preview, didn't really love any of my sweepers this game, I'll be honest. I felt Talonflame was probably going to be the best, as I'm Gale Wings, so if I can get rid of the Archeops, it's actually not that bad. But Druddigon is a little bit annoying for me, because if it's like, I don't know, it could glare my Lass, that'd be annoying. But I am going to lead off with Froslass, since I know his set because I played against him, so I know this is, you know, Technician with Spin, Axe, and all that. So I actually do really value getting this para off. And then we're just going to try to spike up as much as we can from here. You know, this spawn doesn't really threaten my Lass at all. And so I can spike up as much as I want. We're also going to try to get a little bit of chip. And given this damage, I think it's pretty safe to assume that he's like AV. But a little bit of chip maybe matters for something. I'm going to go Talon here. I'm at SD. He actually stays in and spins. I think that was a pretty good play. His Hitmontop doesn't really do anything for him from there, so I probably should have just tried to kill with Acro. And we're not really in a bad spot, but unfortunately the you know, breaking a Gale Wings means that this can go for Nature Power, means that a Selgor is also faster. But again, we're just going to stay in. We're going to do what we can with our Talon. And what we can do with our Talon is continue to pick up KOs at a rapid rate. He's going to go with Selgor here. I know he can revenge kill me. And I also know that Croak walls his set, more or less. So we're going to go to Croak, and we're going to plot up. Actually, I lied. I Focus Blast immediately because I'm just better. Yeah, I mean, looking at his team, plotting doesn't do a whole lot. I'd still have to hit the next focus anyway to Oko, so may as well try to get the landing out of the way. If I had missed, I probably would have gone into like Tyrantrum as he rocks up and just clicked Outrage, because he doesn't really have a whole lot to do in response to that from there. I guess the worry could have been if he was like Sash now or something, but we do pick off the Drudagon there. He goes Archeops. I look at Sylvally Ground and I say, you know what? Go, my king! Because I figure, you know, I take an Air Slash, and I do! And fun, yeah. Oh. As you can tell, I was very upset by that. Hit him with the, you know, I'm sleeping. But it's not the end of the world. I still have outs. I go into my Talon, just try to get some chip with Steel Wing. You can see there, if I'd gotten a Rock Slide off, we would have been fine. But I know T-Trum can live whatever hit he has. I actually do make a little bit of a misplay here. I honestly thought that he'd have a better way of hitting me there, which is why I just went for the attack. But Outrage is fine, because look at his team, he has to focus here, which he does. But look at his team, Toxicroak still wins. I'm going to eat the Bug Buzz up from this. It will give him his Throat Spray, but it doesn't really matter. He has no way to kill me from here. And I got a little bit of a Justice Dodge there. Don't really know if it mattered. I can't imagine that puts me in range of a Life Orb hit. And here we need to land one Focus Blast. And we do. And we get out of this game. I hit him up. Blessed. Oh my lord, if I had missed that, I would have been so sad. Anyhow, this is going to be the last game we go over. Again, pull out the spikes. This time we're up against another form of offense. And, you know, playing around the Araquanid is always kind of annoying, because they have Magic Code, and they also have an incredibly strong Liquidation. So actually blocking webs is really hard, because, I'll be real here, most of these players should always try to prevent that. So you're going to see my opponent outplay the hell out of me for his first few turns. He's going to Magic Coat my Taunt. Obviously I can't stay in, so he knows I'm going to switch. And because Xatu is a possibility, he liquidates. I will say, had I gone Croak there, I don't know what the hell you do. He probably just throws webs up if I go Croak there. You know, just hopes I don't try to bounce back with Xatu. But I go to my Xatu. Again, he outplays the hell out of me. He liquidates as I go last as well. But we get an incredibly blessed liquidation disable. Now that miss sucks, but look who's coming out. Look at his team. This man's already revealed his whole set. You know, he revealed dual stabs and in Magic Coat. The last move is going to be webs. And I'm a DD twice. Now, the reason I went for a second one, maybe viewed as unnecessary, I just didn't want to risk one of these bonds being randomly scarfed, or like this Sylveon living a head smash somehow. I'm guessing it's Specs because he's got it on webs, but you never know. And we're going to watch Tyrantrum click buttons, so basically I win this game if I hit 6 head smashes in a row. And there's 1. There's 2. I guess versus T-Trum I'd CC, but again, here's 3. He's saving his Sylveon, by the way, so I can Outrage lock, which is very smart. This I CC, so we don't care about that. Yep. Can I hit it? Yep. Okay. We call this one a Tyrantrum gap. Yeah. Okay, well, GG. Guess, you know, this is the single time we'll see a Tyrantrum hit that many head smashes in a row. Anyhow, I hope y'all did enjoy just me looking at some of these games. This was honestly, again, I've been planning doing something like this for a little bit now. Just because my urge to like record a full-on live solo right now kind of low, but I still think it's fun to go over some of my own games as well, because it's much easier for me to, you know, talk about how I was thinking of the team when I made it, what my thought process maybe was at the time, you know, so long as I remember it. As you saw in one of the Croat games, yep, no, I attacked instead of plotted. But it makes it a little bit easier because I don't have to try to theorize. What was X user thinking when they went for this move? Intentional or not? But yeah, obviously if you did enjoy this, hey, may as well leave a like on the video. May as well comment, tell me what you enjoyed the most about the video as well. And hey, if you've made it through all 21 minutes and 18 seconds of this video up to this point, and you're not subscribed to me, you best get on that. Think about it, right? You sub to me, one, it's free. So, I mean, look, may as well just support someone. And two, you can get more content like this. It's a win-win. Hope y'all enjoying your day. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.